Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Audie, getting at you guys on what it do at Audie's W-2. So, the time right now is 1 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon. I am sitting at my desk, and yeah, I'm not sitting in the lot, and I haven't been there since Monday, and it is now Friday. So yeah, I pretty much quit. I quit because um when the dude was saying like, yeah, we can put you in singles, you're just gonna have to bring in a doctor's note, whatever. So I tried to do that after I left, and I stuck around in Tempe because Tempe is right next to Phoenix. And my primary doctor is in Phoenix. And so I stuck around in Tempe most of the morning, and I called the hospital to get me in to see my primary. And when they wouldn't let me through, I called again and I said, I need to get a doctor's note for my job. And they said that I had to wait until July. So I was like, are you kidding me? And they said that they would call me if there was any cancellations. And I said, well, I need it right away from my job. And they were like, sorry, she's booked. So I asked if there was somebody else that could see me on her behalf. And they pretty much said the same thing. And yeah, there was just no way I could jump ahead like that. So I tried to put it in the little app that, like you could schedule, blocks or whatever. Like you could schedule or trade shifts. You can call out sick and put your reason and things like that. Because calling, they were like, oh, you have to leave a message. I left a message and nobody got back to me, and when they did, it was early in the morning when I'm asleep. So when I wake up calling them back, I just wasn't interested, because even in the voicemail I said like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to come in because you guys need a note. I can't give you a note until July, and I know there's just no way that you would hold on to me that long without a doctor's note, because I am not going to be in the truck hurting myself. You know what I'm saying? So um yeah, that's not gonna happen. So I had to let it go. I just got incredibly stressed out. I got stressed out, like just worrying about my schedule. Working from 3 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock. Yeah, that sounds pretty ideal, right? And my schedule is pretty much open, just whatever you guys are telling me to do, or like I'm doing my best to do that. But the week that I tried it, it just really like fucked me up. It just did. And I just thought that, yo, okay, so if I wake up at 1 o'clock, make my lunch and things like that, and then head out, get there at 3, work, um and hope, just hope that you're not going to be stressed out by some of the duties. But stress just comes with any kind of job that you do, right? Whether it's a kickback job, almost, you're gonna have that one customer that's gonna give you shit, or something's gonna fuck up on your schedule, or it's gonna fuck up your money. All these systems got fucked up and shut down, and there's things that happen, right? But for me, it was like, it's really hard and tough right now, because this is something that I'm just jumping into, and they're already making it like it was my fault that I applied for a job they think that you should know how to do, and because you're not, oh, that's your fault. Like, to me, uh, like there's no understanding in that, like where's the, oh, you're gonna get used to it, like, oh, you're gonna want to give up, but just keep going if you need, it's like, yeah, they give you half of that conversation, but when it actually happens, it's all your fault. And I just don't think that's fair. You're not taking care of your employees that way. And I'm not talking like ass pats or anything like that, but it's like, if you know that this job can be strenuous, why don't the fuck you just say that? Like, don't make it our fault, because it's almost like you're lying almost. And just because you don't say it, you're like, oh, well, I didn't lie about it. Well, you failed to inform us. That's almost kind of deceiving. You know what I'm saying? But um I don't know. And Alabama Mammy, she commented, saying that, the lady sounds like she's in no position, or she's not right to train people. Um, what else did she say? She said something along the lines of, why don't you hold on, let me find it, because she said, sounds like that woman isn't cut out to train people. I wish you would not give up. I will go to the office and ask if someone else can train you. My response to that was, I did ask for somebody else, and they said that she was the only one within those hours that is training. So, when it comes to, like that section A, section B, like she's in charge of those areas. The other woman, Trudy, yeah, she's the one that's training us as well, but it's like she's training a whole bunch of other people as well. Um, Kathy is the one that, pretty much dragged me to the main manager, the head honcho, I guess. And he was the one that was like, hey, well, you applied, again, as if it's my fault that I applied. And it's just like, dude, I'm just saying that, like, I'm diabetic, this is what's happening. If you're diabetic, you would know. And I'm willing to work. Is there something else that I could do? I don't give a fuck if it's janitorial work. Like, I want to do something until I can bring a doctor's note. I didn't know that they were going to push me back that far at the clinic to see my primary to get a note. So, I just kind of felt like no matter what I say, it just sounds like an excuse to them. And I will not be treated that way if I'm being honest. And so, what's the point of picking up the phone? Like, what are you going to do to work with me when you're already putting your foot down and saying, like, oh, well, we can't do this and we will not do this until you give us a note. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you yet. So it may be, and trust me, it does feel wrong that I walked away. It does feel wrong. I don't like walking away from a job undone. I just don't. But I had to, because I am not going to hurt myself over $18 an hour, and you expect me to haul and organize all these fucking packages that are heavy. Like, I'm not built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not tall like the other chicks that came, and they're tall, and they're just able to, I guess. I know that I can't, not right now, because like I said, if I give it all my might to pick up a package, and I have to have a strong stomach to lift up something, I'm gonna throw the fuck up everywhere, and then you guys are gonna look at me like it's my fault. So what's gonna happen to the podcast? Because initially I created What It Do at Audie's W-2 to document my shifts, my gym times, the vitamins and stuff that I'm taking, the supplements, what gives me energy, what doesn't. I wanted to get into like meal preps and things like that to make you feel good about doing your job, no matter what the fuck it is, because I can only imagine what everybody's work day is like. And I already told you guys that I get envious of people that don't give up on their job, even if it's the most shittiest job. They're still showing up and they're performing it well, and they're getting a check and taking care of themselves and their household. That is something that I wish that I could do. But when you're working for people like this and you already come with problems that you are trying to make better, or you're already coming with problems that you just can't help, but you have to work to survive, right? Where's that understanding in that? And it's all your fault if if you can't hang, but it doesn't mean that you just are incapable of working. What about all the other stations in the facility that may need help in something? I don't mind traveling around the facility, just helping out. But they're trying to keep me in one spot, like, oh, well, you applied. Yeah, I applied, but I can't do it. You want a note? I can't get you a note, but I am more than happy to come to work and help with something. And they're looking at me like blaming me like it's my fault that I applied. So, again, what's going to come of this podcast? I was thinking about speaking on, it's like I can come up with problems, right? And they're my own experiences. And I would like to go into like solutions and talk about those things, because there was a time when I was in construction, I cut my arm, and it was like a long cut. It was kind of a deep cut, and I was the only girl in that construction group, and I was bleeding everywhere, and I went up to my boss and I said, I need something to cover this up or whatever. And he threw me a painter's rag, and he just kind of like flung it at me, like, like threw it at me. And right as I was going to put it on my cut, it smelled heavy of paint thinner. It is a chemical that is that can harm you through your skin, especially open cuts. You don't put that shit near your eyes. And it was a very, very strong odor. Now, this was years ago, before paint thinner. Um, um, Now they have like odorless paint thinner. Back then, they didn't have that. So if they had that back then, he would have allowed me, if I didn't smell it, if I didn't know that rag had paint thinner on it, I would have put that whole thing on my cut. And who knows what have happened to me. I would have had to go to the hospital. I probably could have passed out with that shit going out throughout my veins and shit. And even being in that construction group, I did feel like they treated me like shit just because I was a female, a young female. I was like 17, 18 years old when he done that. And I knew he didn't like me. So when he did that, he was doing that intentionally. He didn't give a fuck about my well-being. So I was like, I got to go to the hospital. I'm leaving. And as I was walking off, he was saying things under his breath like, "Oh, well, you're going to be fired, or you're not going to be paid for this job. You're walking off the job." So typical of a female. Like he was, talking shit like that. I did not argue with him. I was just shocked and just beside myself that he would actually do that to harm me. So, things like that, like I should have taken further action, but I didn't. So I was thinking about um maybe coming up with a episode per week about W2 jobs. And let me tell you guys, I'm not going to give up on finding a job. Yeah, I'm doing deliveries, and the delivery parts of that is on the re-up. I will post a link so you guys can go and check it out. But I am going to try to find another W-2 probably towards the end of the year, because that's when all of these warehouses are, with the Christmas shoppings and, the holidays and stuff. They need extra help. So I was thinking about maybe keeping up with maybe an episode of the W-2 maybe once a week or twice, well, once every 2 weeks, something like that, just so that we can keep up with the W-2. And maybe if I see something online and I want to touch bases on it, that kind of thing. But I am very disappointed in their responses to me. They were not trying to be helpful. There was no solutions. I was trying to be fair. I said that I would have a note for them, and I just couldn't get it. I didn't think that, even when you have a primary doctor, they would push you back that long, or, that far out. Um, so yeah, I would say if you're being treated this way, talk to somebody. Even I know that they'll give you like a hotline, like, if you don't want to report to your manager or anybody in that facility, reach out to a fucking toll-free number and fucking report their asses, because that's not right. It isn't. Yeah, they're the managers, but you know what? Managers are the main ones that are bullying you. And everybody's scared to step up to them because they're afraid it's gonna cost them their job. But you know what? It's not right. It's not right. So yeah, that's it for my employment there at FedEx as a package handler. Um, I want to leave you guys with this one last thing. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this very, very quick. Being in the trucks, let me tell you, it did make me feel like, okay, bitch, you haven't been working out, you haven't been, physically doing stuff, you were physically unable to do the job, right? The only main thing that got in the way was me being sick and having motion sickness and all of that. Okay, I get that part. And I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with the things that I'm not doing to take more care of myself. So I just told you guys that I'm going to try to apply at other jobs towards the end of the year. I'm going to do that. But what I'm going to be doing now until then, until they start putting out jobs, I am going to get physically fit enough to do the job of, you know, the movements, whether it's, lifting, carrying packages, or, whatever. But just so that it's not so hard, maybe it's going to train my stomach in some way. Um, to be more satisfied and, more pleased with my physical, you know, uh, my physical being, to be 100% confident and willing and able to do a physical job. That's it. I hope you guys got a few takeaways from this, and you guys continue on strong at your W-2 jobs. Don't take no shit from nobody. All right. And just know that you're worth it. You want to be strong and happy at your job, not stressed the fuck out. Alrighty, and you guys take care. I will check you guys in the next W-2 episode. And yeah, don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, and share. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.